What's good, everybody? It's the real AG with my man, Young RG, back at you again on the Lockdown Defense Sports Network. And continuing on our little off-season review, 2025 season preview, me and Young RG were kind of just thinking, there always seems to be that surprise team every NFL season that, really turns their fortunes, gets in the playoffs. Looking at 2024, Robert and I talked backstage that pretty much had to be, the Denver Broncos for the AFC, the Commanders for the NFC. So, as we inch closer to 2025, we're going to look at the AFC and think, who could be that dark horse team for this upcoming season? Who will rise from the ashes, I guess, to get their football glory and put their franchise, back in the podium and a chance for the big dance. So without further ado, you ready, Rob?
Yes, sir. Let's do it. And
let's get into it.
Already bit of a teaser here in slide one for who my team is going to be here. Starting off in the AFC, we got the Patriots, and I know, not the sexiest pick. People kind of like seeing the Patriots be kind of trash for all those years that they tormented. Especially the AFC East is positively thrilled. Well, minus Jets fans. But that's besides the point. The damn Jets. But yeah, I truly do think that the Patriots this year in particular have a really good shot of kind of surprising a lot of people. Obviously, you see there they went 4-13 2024, good enough to get them the 4th overall pick in the NFL draft this last year, and they wisely used it on Will Campbell, the offensive tackle out of LSU, to beef up that offensive line. They also took center Jared Wilson out of Georgia later on in the draft in the 3rd round with their 95th pick. Their second of 2 third-round picks that they had. And then with those other 2 with those other 2 day 2 picks, they took Travion Henderson out of Ohio State, the running back, and Kyle Williams, the wide receiver, out of Washington State. So they really have just gone all in on protecting and giving Drake May all the weapons and all the protection to succeed. I mean, it's no shock when you use your top 4 picks, literally your first 4 picks in the draft, all on offensive side of the ball. It's really no question, kind of what they have and what they're going for here. They did go defense with the next 3 picks in the 4th and 5th rounds. But, I mean, it just goes to show you where their heads were at going into this draft and going into this offseason. They kind of know what you have in Drake May a little bit. So now you got to see what he can do when he has time to throw, when he has receivers going out there to actually make plays for him. They obviously went out, signed Stephon Diggs in free agency. I mean, you want to talk about a team that I know why you're smiling. Stephon Diggs may not be at OTAs right now, but
sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to the free agent signings. The Patriots obviously blew insane. I mean, I think they were the highest spending team in free agency this year, if I'm not mistaken. They also had the most to spend, so it wasn't even close. I mean, just to name some of the big names, they got, obviously Stephon Diggs, Milton Williams, Harold Landry, Carlton Davis, Robert Spillane, Mac Hollins, just to name a few. They also re-signed Austin Hooper, a couple of other guys as well, Marcus Epps. So I think all of this, coupled with the fact that they are obviously going to have a last place schedule going 4-13. So the teams you're facing are significantly lower than you in terms of talent, or maybe right at the same level as you. But that wasn't the case last year. Basically, everybody you were facing was above you in talent. And that was pretty evident early on. Obviously, one of these 4 wins was the stunner of an upset week 1 against the Bengals. So take that into consideration as well. when you're looking at this. But yeah, I mean, just going and just going to give a quick overview of their schedule. They start out week 1 against the Raiders. I think that's a winnable game. I don't think it's going to be easy by any means, but I think that is absolutely a winnable game. It will be a new look team for the Raiders, but this will be a chance for the Patriots to kind of set the tone early for what they can do in this season, kind of show the league outright, like, hey, we're a team to be messed with this year. We're going to turn some heads. So I definitely look to see them to at least impress in that opening game, maybe not win, but put up a good fight and kind of show the league like, oh, maybe they aren't going to be just pushovers, like they were last season. Then you go to the Dolphins, first divisional game of the season. This one's in Miami early on. Love to see that as a Patriots fan, get that home game in Miami out of the way, especially early in the season when it's still warm out. Means that next game against them will be in the cold later on in Foxborough, and we all know how the Dolphins perform in the cold. So love that. Yeah. So love that for them. Week 3, a little bit of a tougher one, just because, like I mentioned, Mike Tomlin, very well-coached team in the Steelers. This one is at home. But the Steelers, I feel like, as much as we talked about them in the live show, they're always a threat. That they're just an insanely well-coached team. That defense is always stout, and they always somehow they always just somehow get enough. We don't know how they do it, but Mike Tomlin wills teams every year to just above 500. So, a tough game, but I also think winnable. Then you got Panthers, Bills. Panthers, of course, I think that's obviously a winnable game. Bills, that's a bit of a tough one at home, and that's a primetime game as well. I think that's a Monday night game, if I'm not mistaken, in New York. So that is that is a rough one. That is a rough one. We won't look at that. But then, I mean, look at this stretch right here. You got Saints, Titans, Patriots, Falcons in a 4-game stretch right there. I mean, the Saints, Titans, Browns right there, that can be an easy 3-game winning streak. I mean, it's not even close. Just looking at the level of talent on those teams. And the Falcons can very well make it a 4-game winning streak. I mean, we don't know what Michael Penix is going to be yet. I mean, if he flames out and they kind of don't know where they go, if they have to throw Kirk back in there and he's throwing picks like he was last season, that could very well be a 4-game winning streak there. So, like I said, kind of this easy schedule playing into it a little bit. And then, you have a back-to-back tough games, and the second one not so much tough, but it is a divisional game. But you got Bucks and Jets for back-to-back games here, and that Jets game is once again a primetime game. So divisional games, anything can happen. I do think they are a better team than the Jets, so I will definitely give them the edge. But take that for how you will. Gotta wrap it up here with the last 6 games. We got Bengals, Giants, Bills. So a couple of tough teams there with an easy team sandwiched in, and then rounding out the season with Ravens, Jets, Dolphins. Love to see that Dolphins game there be the last one of the season. Patriots fans are very happy with the way this schedule turned out. And obviously Ravens going to be a tough, and as we meant, tough fight. And as we mentioned, Jets, division opponent. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, like just very early looking it on, I could definitely see the Patriots racking up maybe 9 wins here. Like going on a run that nobody really saw coming. Like I mentioned, they go on that 4-game winning streak. I mean, you just never know. I think they're a well-run team. I love Mike Vrabel as the head coach. Love bringing him in. So I mean, I just love everything that they've done this offseason. And yeah, man, they were my pick to go maybe make a playoff run.
Be that dark horse. Yeah, that's what you kind of put the cherry on top with what I was going to say. Like, I mean, I think they finally got the right guy in the building to build things back to what it was. Hopefully not that quick. But yeah, I mean, you couple that
very true.
With they spent like, I think $220 million on like the defensive side of the ball. Pretty much spent their whole draft capital on the offensive side of the ball. Like all the stars seem to be aligning for the Patriots. And, Vrabel, everyone knows, hell of a coach, hell of a players coach, like gets everything out of his players. Pause if need to there. But,
players rally for him.
Yeah. And I mean, like, look at Tennessee. I mean, look at how abysmal that franchise went the minute he left. And they kind of added
1 seed.
Yeah, I know. With Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback. So, like, I mean, that's with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. And I like to think that, the Henderson draft pick coupled with the Ramondre Stevenson extension tells you like,
Yes.
hey, we're going to help this developing QB out. We're going to run the F out of the ball, and we're
Yes.
going to set things up through the run game, which is what Vrabel did, and play, hard nosed, psychotic defense. That's what he brings to the table. So yeah, I love this pick as a potential dark horse in the AFC, and I think I think they're going to shock some people this year. I really do. The only thing that stands in their way is the Buffalo Bills are in their
Yeah.
division. But hey,
Absolutely.
nothing wrong with the wild card. Just got to get to the dance. Look at the Commanders.
I was just about to say, look at the Chargers last year, 4-2 in the division, get swept by the best team in the division and arguably potentially the best team in the conference, but you sweep the other two teams in your division, so you make up for it, and that very well could be the case for the Pats this year.
Absolutely. Or those same with like AFC West games. We always say like they're insanely close, and like we've seen the ass Jets beat the Bills, because it's a divisional matchup. So like anything can happen.
We saw the Miami Miracle against these very own Patriots.
Exactly. So anything can happen in our division, but I think that is the one big barrier in their way, honestly. Like super easy strength of schedule. Just have, that juggernaut in their
if they can somehow steal one against the Bills, they are set up very nicely for the rest of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I guess moving on to my
I'm so excited about
maybe a little bit of a shocker for you people, but hey, you know what? I will back up my pick with some facts. But yeah, that is the Jags. Ironically, also went 4-13. Shout out to the graphic here. It was too good to pass up. Yeah, there he is. I was waiting for it. We should have queued that up as a sound, but
that has to be a soundbite this season.
But yeah, I promise this was not planned, ladies and gentlemen, for us to both pick a 4-13 team to turn things around. I didn't realize that until just looking at it here. But yeah, Jacksonville is my pick. I think kind of picking up what we talked about yesterday on the show, this is, in my opinion, this has got to be the make it or break it year for Trevor Lawrence. Like they brought in yet another offensive guru. They've built around him a little bit more. They, made some good additions to the defensive side of the ball, and they mortgaged their future to bring in Travis Hunter. So, they've got to see some drastic improvement this year, I think, with sort of the bits and pieces building they've been doing over the past 2-3 years. They got a little bit unlucky, I guess, in the draw. They have the 9th easiest strength of schedule. So, not the best, but not the worst.
Bottom third.
And I think the bigger reason I am a little bit of a believer in Jacksonville, Duval, or Saxonville, whatever you want to call them, is just because they're in the AFC South or AFC. I said AFC. Sorry.
Yeah, AFC.
They're in the AFC South. And really, the staple team the last few years has been the Texans. I think they have a stellar defense. No one can doubt that. It is an absolutely stacked unit, but in my opinion, they regressed on the offensive side of the ball. I think there's a lot more unknowns on the offensive side than there were the past couple years. In my opinion, didn't really do much to help protect Stroud, who I think, didn't really take that next step forward in the sophomore season. Like they still made the playoffs, still were pretty good, but I don't think we saw like much more out of him than what we saw in his rookie year. So to me, the AFC South is just up for grabs. And if Jacksonville can, get it done with the split, because you think about if they get at least split with the Texans, the other two teams are the Colts and the Titans. Like, come on, we just talked about the Titans a little bit. Come on.
No, hey, you're 100% right. This division is weak.
Yeah. So I think just again, make it or break it year. They got some good additions, like I said, bringing in Jordan Lewis, added Travis Hunter.
Hey, you know what else they have? They have tied now with Cam Ward, but the highest pedigreed quarterback drafted in that division. Trevor Lawrence was a number 1 overall pick too.
Oh yeah, didn't lose until he got to the NFL.
Yeah.
Basically.
And now he can't stop losing.
Yeah. And I mean, he's not.
It's not entirely
like what
his
Coach
fault.
said last night. He's not it's not totally on him. He got
No.
drafted into a really, really, really shitty situation. Sorry.
With a terrible.
That's it. I mean,
terrible
that's just the way you
coach.
gotta describe it. Like he
Yeah.
went from this stable juggernaut program, with a good coach, a good players coach, to Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer.
And that was
Well
like
said.
4 weeks of Urban Meyer, or
Jesus
whatever it
Christ,
was.
Yeah. It was
But
4 weeks too long of Urban Meyer. is what
Yeah,
it was.
exactly. But yeah, just I think they're my dark horse team for the AFC. More specifically, just because they're in the AFC South, and to me, that's up for grabs. They do have some pretty tough opponents. Like they got the Bengals, they got my Chiefs. They got the 49ers.
I think they play us too, right?
Yep. I mean, they play the AFC West,
Oh,
so I mean, that's not a good draw either.
No.
But I mean, the name of the game to make the playoffs is to do the stand on business in your division, and I think that they can do that. Like I said, the ultimate goal is obviously 2-0 against Houston, but if you can split against Houston and
Sweep the
do the
others.
rest, sweep the others, and squeak out some wins, against some of these bigger opponents. Like they've played the Chiefs pretty close the last 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Like the Bengals, they got the Bengals in week 2, which the Bengals always suck at the start of the year. So, that's good.
I think they crushed the Chargers the last time they played them too. It was like 31 to 10 or something like that.
Yeah,
that was when they had that, remember they were 8-3 at the top of the conference, and everybody was like, "Oh, here they come," and then it just
fizzled. But and you just look at that with who they're playing. They also got the NFC West, so some favorable opponents there, and you got to think that the guy they brought in is gonna finally get the most out of Trevor Lawrence.
he better.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal or thought they had to bring him in. So, we'll see how it's all put onto the field in 2025. But I think Jacksonville has a pretty good chance to be a dark horse team this upcoming season.
Yeah, with Travis Hunter, man, and the fact that they traded this next year's first round pick away, they better be.
Yeah, right. They don't have a choice, but
they truly do not have a choice. The Jags need to make the playoffs this year, and they need to probably win a playoff game, because if you fortune that much of your future away to take Travis Hunter, you're doing it with the intention of, yeah, we're going to compete, and you should, because like you said, you laid it all out. This division is weak. You can steal one against Houston and split, and the other two. Tennessee was picking number 1 overall, and we don't even know how far and accurate Indy's quarterback can throw.
Yeah,
he may need to stop midway and refuel.
Their coach is already making comments about it's a QB battle with Daniel Jones. So that's all you need to know there.
Yeah. So if you can't sweep those two teams respectfully as a team, like you said, that has Trevor Lawrence, that is looking to compete and make a playoff appearance this year, they better.
Yeah.
they better surprise.
It's almost like the polar opposite to the Pats. You got to think of the Pats. They just brought Vrabel in. He's going to have a few years to build. There's going to be some patience. But I got a feeling old Liam here has, maybe 1.5 seasons to right the ship.
He may have half a season.
Yeah. So, time will tell. But, I just early looking in, I think they have a decent chance to do it.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I agree with you. That they are, on paper, they are set up to make a run this year. And the AFC's loaded, so if they are able to persevere and make it through, you'll know it's legit. It won't be what's the word I'm looking for?
A fluke.
Yeah, fluke. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. It was crazy to think prepping for this is just wild to remember, but the Jags were in the AFC Championship game not that long ago with Blake Bortles.
2018?
Yeah, with Blake Bortles, dude. So
I think I saw that graphic, and it was the 4 quarterbacks that were in the conference championship games those years, and it was
none of them are playing.
Bortles, Foles,
Brady and
Keenum and Brady. Like, what the
so random, dude. Just
dude?
so proof is in the pudding, ladies and gentlemen. If
Go
Blake
put your
Bortles
bets
can
down.
do it, anything can happen.
Go put your bets down. Smash these overs on the win totals for
Yeah.
these guys.
You heard it from young RG, the in-house
Degenerate
degenerate.
gambler himself.
Right there. Shameless plug, but hey, man can cook from time to time, just
Hey,
saying.
cooked in that draft.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, but that about wraps up our little AFC Dark Horse preview. As always, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, like the video so others can get in on the super hot fire that we are dropping day in and day out. Please be sure, please be sure for our Duvals out there, or anyone, drop a comment below. Let us know if you agree with these early dark horse predictions, or if you need to, vent about your squad because you think they're going to do so good. Let us know. And as always, if you want to get any of us on social media, there's all the info right there. Pretty much across all platforms, as well as all of our lockdown defense content. Boom, there it is.
Yeah.
But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the real AG. That's your boy, the young RG. This is our AFC Dark Horse preview, and we'll see you when we see you.
Duval.